My bad. We let a child sex offender, dressed up like a girl, read to those kids. That was probably not the best thing we could do, and we're sorry. That was great. They nailed it.
Soy Boy Chloe is 110% organic, non-GMO, or gender misogynistic depression, identitarian.
And there's no need for anyone to think that is unacceptable. We're going to shut them down and work with whoever it is to shut them down, and they should be prosecuted. You cannot intimidate members of Congress.
What's up, modus operandi? Been a minute, man. No, we're on the D-Live. Who's in the D-Live? Hey, what's going on? It's your night, guys. We're to talk to you about Operation Mockingbird a little bit. The term dark winter that's being thrown around. That's being get you ready propaganda. So, pay attention to that. You'll be hearing that a lot. And we're also going to touch on how the elites by the elites, most of them Democrats, kind of nonpartisan, how they're wetting themselves over the fact that the economy actually shooting themselves. The fact that the economy might be coming back. They don't want to see that. Oh, thanks, man. I didn't know Joe was still running over there. Came over. We're going to start the soccer in about 5 minutes, so stick around, everybody. It's good to be back. Gotta do a couple more things here. Rational wrong thing. Rational wrong. How are you? Maybe on Thursday or Friday. I want you on. Awesome. What is was that Joe's? Joe talking to Bosch? Talking about Bosch? What up, Rational? I'm not gonna respond to that. I already used too many words. I was told by my handler, don't talk on this because I will shove my foot in my mouth. Just don't do that. Just move on. Just move on. It's dumb. How could you even think that just because I was in charge of policy with the Ukraine as vice president, and just because I actually told the government that if they didn't fire the prosecutor that was looking into the company that my son was involved in, and he was getting paid $50,000 a year, and he didn't know jack diddly dick about this job, how could you think for a minute that was inappropriate or that I did anything wrong? Even though I sat and I bragged about the fact I got this guy fired, and I told him I wasn't going to give him money unless they did what I said, how can you think that I did anything wrong? This is just such a dumb question. And it can't believe we're entertaining.
And all these other social media platform people say they struggle with figuring out where the line is and how to, we remove hate speech, but we also want to promote free speech and discussion. It's very simple. It's very simple. All you got to do is follow the Constitution. Follow the Constitution. Follow the Bill of Rights. Follow the First Amendment.
Be elected president. She says, Senator Kamala Harris said that if she is elected president, she will give Congress 100 days to act on gun control. If they don't, she'll take matters into her own hands, she said during the CNN town hall. Wow, that doesn't sound like a dictatorial response, right? That doesn't sound like a very democratic position to have.
We need to get back to the Constitution and follow it, not farther away and water.
Well, I'm pretty sure she came out against Trump when he said he was going to take executive action on the wall, right? So if you believe in freedom of speech and the Constitution and the Bill of Rights, you are a bad side note. The Democrats months ago were saying there was no crisis at the border. Now read the headlines. There's a crisis at the border. Anyway, evil piece of crap. shooter opened fire in Dayton, Ohio, killing 19 people.
Glad to have you guys, man.
Oregon District, a popular downtown area.
Ugh.
Freaking
Been in here for a
conservative
while. Well, I've been
tweets.
doing other stuff.
So there's this sweet little article.
But,
it says campus police chief. Pretty interesting that we can compare these two different shootings because they happen so closely. At 2 minutes and 38 seconds. So here we go. Right, which helped, as she's going to mention here, black and brown people. So we won't get into that either. But I'd like to just make that note that that's just hours before on Saturday, a shooter opened fire at an El Paso, Texas shopping center, killing at least. There's an issue of public corruption in New York State, and there's an issue of corruption in New York State.
oh, that's
right?
funny too. Yeah, we'll do a couple. We won't get too deep.
Apparently, Snapchat has stepped on the social justice warriors' ding-dongs or peanuts or what have you. Apparently, Snapchat's new gender swap filter is causing problems for the social justice warriors.
That wasn't what was supposed to happen, so we'll just go into the intro. We were supposed to- Anyways, it's been a minute since I've been on here, so I'm a little confused with how to do this again. But hey, how's everyone doing out there in YouTube land, man? It has been a couple minutes since I have been doing any streams. I've been working on a song, and also I don't really need my headphones on right now. Working on a new song that I am going to release. I'm gonna be done with here. I'm hoping in a couple weeks, and it's kind of a rally cry and anthem song, and it's called "Rise Up." I think that's gonna be the name of it. Maybe "Remember Who You Are," but that's kind of just doesn't quite have the same ring to it. So. But anyways, I want to start doing some consistent videos. And can you guys hear me okay? I should have made sure that am I coming through okay to everybody out there? Volume wise and all that, we're good. What's up, Basic? Like that moat. Anyways, jumping right in here, why don't we just jump in and do a couple of some meme times with Steven, right? Let me scroll back up here so you guys... Yeah, okay, cool, there we are. If there's one thing this pandemic has taught me, it's that there are a lot of you that would be absolutely useless in the zombie apocalypse, which is very true. I would not be one of those people. I would kill the shit out of some zombies. And it's kind of not that different if you really think about it, because we're seeing a lot of these zombies around us right now. The ones with masks on, walking around, they're programmed zombies. It's not really their fault. I was walking around with a mask on for a little while too, until I really started doing a little more critical thinking on this, and everything started to come out. I wanted to be cautious, but when the chips started to fall and everything started coming together, I realized, nah. This really is a complete shit show, and I'm not playing along anymore. And now I'm just angry. I'm just angry about it all. This one here says, we followed the science, so we can't open the economy until November 3rd. Political science. And that is more true than we know. This has turned into, it probably always was, but this is completely a political stunt now, what we're seeing happen. In the beginning, like I said, I don't know who released this. I don't know what part. It didn't come from a wet lab. I don't know how bad it really was, if this was the test run. I have a feeling it was the test run and to get us softened up. This was the meat tenderizer. This first step was the meat tenderizer. Get us all, conditioned, get the programming going in our brain, steer us in the right directions of where the elite wanted us. And it worked for a while, and now all of a sudden it's starting not to work, and you're starting to see a lot of distractions because people are like, screw this, I'm not doing this anymore. A lot of people, they're going out on Memorial Day, they're doing all these things. It's not working quite like they wanted it to for the forced vaccinations and for your, contact tracing, right, or Big Brother surveillance. Those two things are major things that have a lot of consequences that they are, ramifications that they want to roll out, and they're using this to roll it out. But we're going to talk about a term tonight that you've been hearing running around called dark winter. Man, we're looking forward to a dark winter because we're opening up too soon. And you have all the fake media pushing their stories, but it isn't adding up. When you really get down to the math on it, when you really use a common sense, critical thinking, this doesn't make sense. It's all for show. This is the biggest psyop. I'm convinced of it. It's the biggest psyop probably since 9/11. Maybe since the moon, because we didn't go to the moon either. Just FYI, but that's a topic for a different day. All right, moving on here. We can't trust states to count COVID deaths, but they'll surely do better with mail-in ballots or mail-in votes. That's funny. You got this little cutie that says, "Keep America great. Thanks for the expensive 7 weeks trial of communism. I'd like to have my liberty back now." Very well said, sweetheart. Very well said. That's kind of funny, isn't it? Pot meets kettle. You ain't blackjack. The whole, you're not black enough thought it was kind of funny. Anyways, you have here society pressure, conformity, Stockholm syndrome, Hegelian dialect, groupthink, logical fallacy, brainwashing, indoctrination, propaganda, and cognitive dissonance. All these things are chasing me or you if you're critically thinking. All of these things are what is going on right now in the background. And a lot of this comes from, it's bipartisan, believe it or not, it's bipartisan. And it comes from the powers that be that are way up the food chain that really want to bring the walls down around America, figuratively and literally, and want to roll out some global agendas here. And they have to do that by, well, and this was a benefit to the Democrats. They just jumped all over this, right? The left, because this really hurt Trump. And Trump's doing a good job hurting himself with some of the decisions he's making. If we're being honest here, Trump's doing a damn good job hurting himself. And I'm really hoping he makes some changes. But this isn't going to be a straight Democrat or Republican talk tonight. This is the bigger picture stuff. Because that's more where my brain's going on this stuff, is that I really think politicians, I really think presidents are mostly puppets. I really do. The powers that pull the strings, the powers that be, that's where we need to open up our mind and understand it's really happening. There really is an agenda. There really is mind programming going on. There really is these things that are happening. And we have to be wise enough and wise up to it a little bit. Anyways, let me get back through some of these because I didn't want this stream to be a long one. And then you got the black sheep right there. This funny one, big old sheep rolling down the hill. The black sheep stopping him. This one is pretty funny. That's the Michigan senator or Michigan governor, forgot her name. Sometimes words are not even needed to understand the translator's sign language. Loser. Anyway, that was kind of funny. That was a good time. I don't like that scene. Do that one. Should we do that one? Or maybe I'll do the bigger one. You know you're on SJG Perspective. Like everyone to know that everything I learned on the street. I'm a big sucker for stupid t-shirts. I really like them. So just keep that in mind if anybody ever wants to get me a gift or anything. Wow. So yeah, catch you up a little bit. I already touched on it a little bit. I haven't been real active on YouTube recently. Primarily because so much has been going on in the media and everybody and their dog is talking about it. I didn't feel like I had a whole lot of new or interesting stuff to add to it. And my mind has felt overwhelmed. I think that's by design. When this first all happened, I could never get my phone, my nose out of my phone. For the last couple of weeks, I haven't really been, I'll follow the news. I'll look at my YouTube feed. I'll check my news feed once a day just to kind of see what the updates are. And it's kind of funny how a lot changes in 2 weeks when you're not watching the news, but not a whole lot changes. Like, it's a little bit different verbiage, a little bit different words, a little bit different whatever, but it's pretty much the same bullshit. And when you give yourself a moment away from it, you start to understand what a complete and total mind is happening to us. How the media is a complete joke, man. Did you guys see that video? Was that on my Twitter? I think it was on my Twitter. I retweeted it. I didn't plan on sharing this, but it goes to it's a good little point that I want to make on this. Let me go to my Twitter real quick. Where's it at? Where did I put that at? Nope, too far. Pretty sure. Oh, right here. This is it, right here. Okay. Let me pause that. Let me make it big screen. Undo that. This is kind of what I'm talking about. If you guys didn't see this, this is precious. This is precious right here.
Worried about it, Cal? Are they not worried about their own personal safety?
I haven't met anybody who is. I met some folks actually from Lake Geneva who lived in the area. They were staying a few miles outside of town where I were, and they said they're worried about it. They're worried about that second spike. They're worried about folks coming in from Chicago.
The second spike, the dark winter that we're reopening too soon. Guys, we have, what is it? 350,000 people worldwide that have died from this. 100,000, is it 100,000 that have died here in America? Out of that 100,000 guys, let's just put this in perspective. Everything if it was even remotely close, they're calling it COVID, right? Hospitals are getting extra money if they put somebody on a ventilator. Pneumonia deaths are way down, as are influenza deaths are way down. And on top of all of that, people who need critical surgeries aren't getting it because we were going to overrun the hospital. So we needed space, and we weren't doing anything that wasn't a life essential, absolute surgery. Well, but abortions, we can do abortions. Those don't count. That's just murdering. So that's okay. But other than that, other people can't go in for their surgeries because we needed to keep the hospitals open so people wouldn't die. So these people that are going to flood in right to the hospitals. And then what happens is we start furloughing, laying nurses off and hospital workers off because hospitals are empty. Because this isn't happening. You have, as Robert Nord talked about today, the health director of national health, something bigwig in Norway, coming out saying, "No, we probably didn't need to shut the government down. I don't really think it helped." And then you have these guys. He has his mask on. He's standing in sunny weather. Nobody's around. It's all for show. It is all for show. It's all for the messaging. It's all for the propaganda. It's all for the narrative. That's all it is. We are under a mind right now. We are under a psyop right now. This is not real. I'm not saying there's not a virus, okay? I'm not saying some people haven't died from the COVID. I'm saying this isn't a pandemic of epic proportions that we need to be freaking out at this level. But the powers that want to push this on us, the elite, the predator class, those at the top, right? And it's not even the top of the United States, the pyramid, whatever you want to call it. Those who want to take your rights, those who want to implement authoritarian, draconian laws upon you, and don't just want to implement them, they want you to freely offer them up. That is what we're doing here, and these guys are part of it. The media is part of it. The media is a literal propaganda wing of our government, and it's that way pretty much any country you go to. We think here in America that we have free press, and we probably do in a lot of ways have more free press than other countries. Right now, barely holding on. Social media and big tech is doing a damn good job of raping that away from us, right? They're doing a damn good job of taking and censoring all the logic and true science. They're taking that away. But the mainstream media, as you will see as I continue to play this clip, is full of shit.
But they'll quickly add at the same time, this is a place that relies on that business. I think people here want a little bit more funding when it comes to these programs so that they could stay closed. But again, I think people felt like the Supreme Court made the decision here in Wisconsin that it was time to open up. But you can see here, just around. Nobody's wearing them. Nobody's, there you go, including the cameraman. Yeah.
See, watch this, guys. So he goes, see, nobody's wearing them, man. I'm wearing my mask because I'm a good little puppet. I'm a good little bitch. I'm a good little a-hole that wants to wear my mask because my producers and the people upstream from me say, hey, push the narrative, push the narrative. We already know all the media does it, right? You can get those clips where all the different broadcasts and are all put side by side and they are reading a script word for word. All of them are saying the same thing. This guy gets called out and he's like, see, nobody's wearing a mask, and he's filming somebody who represents like us. I don't know if the guy has a YouTube channel, but he's filming them with his camera. And this guy said, yeah, see, nobody's wearing a mask. And this average nobody Joe says, yeah, including your cameraman, that we can't see because it's all for show. It's Operation Mockingbird. This is a propaganda operation. That's what we're seeing here. And it's hilarious to me that we take this shit at all seriously from these people because they're full of shit. Now, I'm sorry here. Let me finish this little segment. There's a couple more seconds here.
Katie?
He looks down like, Mom, fuck yeah, that guy just totally blew my shit. Yeah, you totally just opened me up. Yeah, Katie, back to you. This is embarrassing.
And then striking images. Cal Perry. Cal, thank you very much. And Kathy Park, you are so
striking images. Kathy, I don't even, or whatever her name is, Katie, Kathy, whatever. I don't even think Karen, probably Karen. I don't even think she picked up on the fact that you just got called the fuck out, bitch. He just said your cameraman doesn't have a mask on, and we just got lectured by Tweedledee over here telling us how we all need to wear a mask, and homeboy just called your cameraman out. I don't even think she was bright enough to pick that up, that she just got owned. But anyway, that to me is a great little synopsis of the big problem that's going on. The big problem. This dark winter you hear, it is the next phase, okay? It is the next phase of what they're setting us up for. Because, like I said, they've worked this case like the Event 201 told us they were going to do it. To the T, they've worked it just like Event 201. Social media, Mark Zuckerberg, Susan Wojcicki, Jack Dorsey, all these big-time players have done their part in censoring and blocking and shadow banning and taking channels down that don't line up with the official narrative. The official faker narrative, Fossey, faker, fucker. I think we should call him Fokker. The Fauci Fokker narrative, right? The Birx narrative, the Bill Gates narrative. If you don't think okay, here. Bill Gates, I went back and forth on Bill Gates when this whole was coming out. I always thought he was a slimy sumbitch, but then I was like, well, I don't know, maybe this is getting blown out of proportion. I went and watched the Corbett Report, did a 4-part series on Bill Gates, does a whole layout of this dude's life. There is no doubt in my mind anymore, not that there was much, but it has removed all doubt that Bill Gates is an evil SOB, parading himself around as some humanitarian philanthropist. That he is not. He is not. He is at the top of the pyramid. He is in the club that we're not in, as George Carlin used to talked about. He's in that club, and he has an agenda, and it's nefarious as fuck. If you don't think it is, you ain't paying attention. Go to the Corbett Report, Corbett Report. Find him on YouTube while he's still there. He's this nerdy guy. I love you if you ever watch this, James. But he comes off as kind of this nerdy guy, right? But he's super smart, does a great job laying out these things, and he's one of my favorite guys to listen to. I think he does a fantastic job. So, anyways, you internet gay? I don't know what we're talking about here. You guys just carry on. Sorry, I'm just ranting away. I haven't even checked the chats. I apologize. I'll get to that eventually. Anyways, dark winter is the new a term we hear throwing around, right? This dark winter, or this term, that is not a happen chance that what's his nuts used that term and that was fired, right? That wanted to continue to push this fear narrative on everyone. Continue to push this fear narrative. Because as a Politico article recently gave way, and I think it just came out today or yesterday, whatever it was. I'll blow this up so you guys can maybe read it a little bit here. See here. It says, former Obama administration economist Jason Furman. So Furman has said this. Furman's counterintuitive pitch has caused some Democrats, especially Obama alumni around Washington, to panic. This is my big word. He's saying the economy is going to bounce back. Now, I don't know if I believe that. I hope to shit it does, but it may bounce back for a little while. But there is already long-term damage done to this thing, man. We already have long-term damage done to this economy. Don't kid yourself. Now, I think it will spike back, and I do hope it comes back. But anyways, just to out the left that they really, like Bill Maher used to say, what